What if one profound insight could reshape every relationship you have, starting with yourself? Welcome to my channel Kind Dhamma, where we make ancient wisdom accessible for modern life. Today we're exploring right understanding, or as I like to call it, seeing reality clearly. It's the Buddha's first and culminating factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. This isn't mere doctrine or philosophy. It's a practical way to see reality so clearly that suffering naturally begins to fall away. In this video, you'll gain tools grounded in the Buddha's own teachings that you can test for yourself immediately. By the end of this video, you'll be able to understand the four noble truths with practical depth, apply the three universal characteristics to reduce stress, recognize how dependent origination works in your daily life, identify the 10 unwholesome actions you might be unconsciously doing, practice the 10 meritorious deeds that create genuine well-being, spot the 10 fetters that keep you trapped in repetitive suffering, and use right understanding as a compass for better decisions. Most importantly, you'll have reflection exercises and mini practices you can use right away. In the Sammaditthi Sutta, the Buddha calls right understanding the forerunner of the entire path. But what does that actually mean for your Tuesday morning commute or your relationship drama? Let me tell you about Maya, a busy teacher who thought happiness came from approval. When a student criticized her lesson, she spiraled into self-doubt for days, believing her worth hinged entirely on praise. Sound familiar? This is what the Buddha called wrong view, mistaking fleeting events for lasting reality, thinking external things determine your internal state. Take a moment to think of a recent moment when you tied your happiness to someone else's approval. What happened afterward? Did getting that approval actually create lasting peace? Or did you just start seeking the next hit of validation? The four noble truths aren't beliefs you have to accept. They're observations you can verify in your own experience right now. The first noble truth is that life contains dukkha, or unsatisfactoriness. This isn't saying life sucks. It's more subtle. Even good moments carry seeds of unease. You get the promotion, but immediately worry about the next review. You fall in love, but fear losing them. There's this underlying restlessness even when things go well. The second noble truth reveals that suffering arises from craving and aversion. Here's the plot twist. Your suffering doesn't come from external events. It comes from your mind's reaction to external events. The same traffic jam affects different people completely differently. Why? Because suffering arises from craving things to be different than they are. The third noble truth offers hope. Complete freedom is possible. This isn't about managing stress or thinking positively. The Buddha discovered that complete cessation of suffering is possible, not by changing the world, but by understanding how your mind creates suffering in the first place. The fourth noble truth shows there's a clear path forward. The Eightfold Path isn't mystical, it's practical psychology that begins with right understanding. Yesterday's traffic jam taught me this firsthand. My stress wasn't caused by the cars, it was caused by my demand that reality be different. The moment I dropped the internal struggle with what was happening, peace returned immediately, same traffic and all. Right understanding rests on recognizing three universal characteristics of all experience. Once you really see these, everything changes. First is anicca, or impermanence. Everything changes, constantly. Your emotions, your circumstances, your relationships, your body, your thoughts, all in constant flux. Fighting this creates suffering. Flowing with it creates peace. Second is dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. No external thing brings lasting fulfillment. That promotion, relationship, purchase, or achievement might bring temporary satisfaction, but it won't fill the deeper longing. Understanding this frees you from endless seeking. Third is anatta, or non-self. You're not a fixed thing, you're a dynamic process. The you from childhood is different from the you now, and the you reading this is different from the you from 5 minutes ago. This isn't scary, it's liberating. Next time you feel upset, remind yourself, this too will change. Then notice what happens to the intensity of the emotion. Now, let's get into the mechanics. How does your mind actually create suffering? The Buddha mapped this out precisely in what he called dependent origination. Don't worry about the fancy name. Think of it as the anatomy of getting triggered. Here's the chain reaction. Contact happens, your phone rings, an email arrives, someone speaks. Feeling arises automatically, either pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Craving emerges as you want more of the pleasant or want to avoid the unpleasant. Clinging intensifies as you demand, grasp, or reject. Mental formations create stories and emotional reactions. Finally, suffering appears as stress, anxiety, anger, or restless wanting. Most people think they jump straight from contact to suffering, but there are actually several steps where you can interrupt the process. Think about your last emotional reaction. Can you trace it through these steps? Which link felt strongest? Where might you have been able to pause and choose differently? Right understanding isn't just philosophical, it shows up in how you act. The Buddha identified 10 unwholesome actions that come from wrong view and create suffering for yourself and others. The physical actions include killing, which includes destroying your own well-being through harmful habits, stealing, or taking what isn't freely given, including people's time and attention, and sexual misconduct, any sexual behavior that causes harm or violates trust. The verbal actions are lying, including those harmless exaggerations on social media, divisive speech like gossip, stirring up conflict, or us versus them thinking, harsh words, speaking in ways that hurt, even when you're just being honest, and idle chatter, mindless talk that serves no purpose and wastes everyone's time. The mental actions are greed, that constant wanting of more, hatred, including subtle resentments and that satisfaction when others fail, and delusion, refusing to see reality clearly, especially about your own behavior. Road rage, social media envy, office gossip, those little lies to make yourself look better. Right understanding helps you spot these patterns before they take hold and create more suffering. But right understanding isn't just about avoiding harm. It naturally leads to actions that create genuine well-being. The Buddha outlined 10 meritorious deeds that flow from seeing reality clearly. The foundation 3 are generosity, giving freely without expecting anything back, ethical living, acting in ways that don't harm yourself or others, and meditation, training your mind to see clearly and respond wisely. The connection 3 are respect, honoring the dignity in yourself and others, service, contributing to others' well-being just because you can, and sharing merit, celebrating good actions, yours and others. The wisdom 3 are rejoicing in others' happiness, genuine joy when others succeed, the opposite of envy, listening to teachings, staying open to wisdom from any source, and teaching and correcting misunderstandings, sharing insights skillfully when appropriate. Try dedicating one small act of kindness each day for a week, something no one will know you did. Notice how this shifts not just others' experience, but your own mindset. The Buddha identified 10 specific mental habits. He called them fetters that bind us to repetitive suffering patterns. Think of them as invisible chains made of thoughts we mistake for reality. The lower fetters are abandoned by the stream enter. First is identity view, or sakayadaiha. This is believing you're a permanent, unchanging self. Second is doubt, or vicikiccha. This shows up as chronic uncertainty about the path that prevents you from testing anything. Third is attachment to rites and rituals, or silabbataparamesa. This means thinking certain behaviors or ceremonies guarantee specific results. The middle fetters are weakened by the once-returner and abandoned by the non-returner. Fourth is sensual desire, or kamaraga. This is chasing pleasure as a solution to deeper dissatisfaction. Fifth is ill will, or bhayapada. This means carrying anger, resentment, or hatred toward others. The higher fetters are abandoned only by the arahant. Sixth is craving for form realms, or ruparaga. This involves seeking perfect meditative states or refined experiences. Seventh is craving for formless realms, or aruparaga. This means escaping into mental concepts, fantasies, or formless absorptions. Eighth is conceit, or mana. This is the subtle, I am ego that compares and judges constantly. Ninth is restlessness, or adhaka. This is the monkey mind that can't settle or be truly present. 10th is ignorance, or avijja. This means not seeing how these very patterns create suffering. Which fetter do you notice most strongly binding your mind today? Just noticing without judgment is the first step to loosening its grip. The Buddha wasn't just offering philosophy. He mapped out the 4 actual stages of liberation that result from practicing right understanding. The stream enterer, or Sotapanna, has eliminated 3 fetters. These are identity view, doubt, and attachment to rites and rituals. They've seen through the illusion of a permanent self. They will never again doubt the path. They're guaranteed complete awakening within 7 lifetimes maximum. The once returner, or Sakadagami, has eliminated the same 3 fetters. But they've also significantly weakened sensual desire and ill will. They will return to human birth at most one more time before achieving full liberation. The non-returner, or Anagami, has completely eliminated the first 5 fetters. They have no more sensual desire or ill will. They won't be reborn in the human realm. The Arahant has completely eliminated all 10 fetters. They've achieved complete liberation. They have no more craving, no more suffering, no more rebirth. Each stage represents a deepening insight into the true nature of experience. You don't have to believe in rebirth to benefit from understanding these progressive stages of mental freedom. Let's interrupt craving in real time right now. Think of something you deeply want. Maybe more subscribers for your channel, your crush to text you back, or that promotion at work. Now notice the urge, the mental arguments about why you need it, any physical tension. Take a breath and ask yourself, is this craving creating peace in my mind right now, or is it creating agitation? This isn't about not wanting things, it's about seeing clearly how craving itself affects your well-being. Right understanding isn't meant to be kept on a meditation cushion. Here's how it applies to actual life. When making decisions, ask yourself, will this reduce suffering for myself and others? In relationships, accept people's imperfections without losing healthy boundaries. At work, remember that your job is a role you play, not your identity. With digital life, see notifications as passing phenomena, not urgent demands. With emotions, label them anger, anxiety, excitement, and watch them change. With daily stress, remember that every frustration is an opportunity to practice seeing where your mind creates unnecessary suffering. Right understanding is both your compass and your destination. It shows you where suffering comes from and points the way to genuine freedom. Your weekly challenge: pick one insight from today. Maybe dependent origination, one of the fetters, or a meritorious deed, and observe it daily in your life. Notice when it's present, when it's absent, and how it affects your well-being. Share your experiences in the comments below. Your observations might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If this video shifted something in how you see your mind, hit like and subscribe to Kind Dhamma for more practical wisdom that actually works in daily life. Remember, awakening isn't a distant goal, it's available in this moment, through seeing clearly what's actually happening in your experience right now.